So if we are going to be allowed to use a calculator on our K-Prep testing, then it's important to kind of review some of the features that you can use on your TI30xa calculator. So let's first start by talking about how to put in negative and positive numbers, because as we have heard me say bunches of times this year, a calculator is only as smart as the person who is using it. If you don't know how to correctly use the calculator, then it will not tell you, and I use that loosely, the correct answer. So let's start with positive and negative numbers. Positive numbers are simply going to be able to just put the number in. So 222 plus 3, that's going to give you your answer. However, if you need to put in negative numbers, you are going to use this key right here. Not the subtraction key, but the plus minus key. In this particular calculator, you have to hit the number and then the negative sign next. So negative 3, say plus 6 equals, and that's going to tell you 3. So make sure that you use this key here for your negative and positive numbers, and this number right here when you're subtracting. Now, if you need to do 5 negative minus 8, then that's going to work out like that for you. All right, so that's how we use our positive negative numbers. Let's talk next about fractions, because there's the dreaded fractions. This calculator is really great about the fact that it has a fraction key. This key and this key, the ABC key that we call it a lot, and then your arrow key often also work as fraction keys. So if I needed to put in the fraction, say 2/3, I'm going to hit 2 because that's my numerator. Then I'll hit the ABC key that serves as a fraction bar, and then I'll put in 3, that's my denominator. So that would be 2 over 3, and then if I wanted to add to that, say 1/2, so plus 1 is my numerator, the ABC key, a half, and then I'm going to hit equal. Now notice that it gives me one line, and then like that little fraction symbol, and then a 6. So here, that number represents our whole number, and then this represents 1/6. So it's 1 and 1/6. Now, let's say you needed to be able to turn that into an improper fraction. You can do that by hitting your second key right here, second, and the ABC key, and then that converts that from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So a lot of times you need to get an improper fraction as your answer, and that is a great way to do that. So one more time, we'll do that. Let's say we have 5/8 minus 2/3, and that gives you a negative 1 over 24. So, ta-da, there you go. Now, let's say we needed to take this negative 1 over 24, and we needed that to be a decimal number. So, you're going to hit your second key, and then if you'll look right down here above that arrow, it says F arrow arrow D. That means fraction to decimal and decimal to fraction. So, I would hit my second, and then I would hit my arrow key, and that's going to convert, well, second, an arrow, and that's going to convert that to a decimal. So there you see it as a decimal. And if you ever get an answer that's a decimal and you need to convert it to a fraction, you can hit second and that arrow key again, and that will take it back to a fraction. That's what it means, F arrow arrow D. That means fraction to decimal, decimal to fraction. Now, another way, another feature on this particular calculator is your exponent keys. If you have to do 6 squared, there's an X squared button right there. So you can just hit that, and you can hit 6 squared, and that will tell you what the answer is. But if you have to raise it to a power other than 2, then you have to use this key right here. That's Y over X. So if I have 2 to the 3rd, for example, I am going to hit 2, because that's my base. I'm going to hit my YX button. That serves as my square root, and then I'm going to hit whatever my power is of 3. So 2 to the 3rd is going to equal 8. So ta-da, there we go. So that key right there, the XY key, is what you can use in terms of a exponent key other than 2. Now, let's say you have to find the square root of a number. So the square root of a number works kind of the same way. And let's say I need the square root of 16. So right here beside the division sign is my square root symbol. So if I need to know the 16 squared, I'm going to hit that, and that's going to give me 4. Now, if I need to know something other than a squared button, so let's say it has a little 3 there, so maybe it might look like this. That means cubed root. So instead of it squaring, you need the cubed root. So if I had to find the cubed root of 2, what I would do is I would come to my calculator and I would hit 2, and then right here above this, above the XY button that I used a second ago, there's this button right here. It looks like this. So it looks like that right there. And in order to get there, you have to hit second and that XY button. And then you would put in your cube root. So you would put in a 3, and then that would tell you your answer. So let's say I wanted the cube root of 8. Okay, I wanted to find what the cube root of 8 would be. So I'm going to come over here, I'm going to clear my calculator. I'm going to hit 8, and then I'm going to hit second, and then this button right here, the YX button. And then I'm going to hit 3, because I want to find the cube root. And then I'm going to hit equal, and it tells me that's 2. And what that really means is that if I take 2 and go 2 times 2 times 2, I'm going to get 8. So really the cube root means you're looking for what number can you multiply by itself 3 times to get the number that's on the inside. So that's a feature that you might find super helpful. And then of course you've got your division, your multiplication, your subtraction, your addition, your equal. A lot of times the division button we use, here are your parenthesis symbols above the 8 and the 9 if you ever need to put anything in parentheses. So you would hit parentheses, and notice that it only shows right up here in the little corner that the parentheses have been opened. So 2 plus 3 close parenthesis times 2, and then you use it like that. Those are the majority of the features that you will use on this calculator for your K-Prep testing, and just your normal everyday math activities. You can also notice that right down here, if you can't remember to use the XY button when you're finding the cube root of something, if you come right down here above the 0, notice that it's got the little 3 square root of a number. So if we go back to our example of the cube root of 8, I can hit 8, second, and 0, and that'll find the cube root for me. But you could use the XY button as well, especially if you want something other than a square root or a cube root. So hopefully this quick little demonstration of your calculator will help you with your calculator skills, and that it will not be a user error in your calculator woes.